Welcome to LA. Today, I have a very special review. This will be my first time flying an international first class product, not only on a domestic route, but also on an international route. Today we start our journey to London via Miami at LAX Terminal 4.
Oh, I got that too.
Check-in is normally done at the kiosk, but we were having some issues, so we used the counters instead. There is also a dedicated first class check-in counter, but we didn't get around to using it. Once when you verify your UK locator forms at check-in, it's very straightforward from there. A bit of a lineup at TSA, and we're through in no time. Today, our aircraft will be departing from Tom Bradley International Terminal here at LAX. These days, there isn't too much going on here, so that's why American were using these gates. I was pretty late to the airport, so it was straight on to the plane for me. And here it is, American Airlines Flagship First Class on their Boeing 777-300. This is laid out in a 1-2-1 configuration with only 8 seats. We'll get a bit more into the seat later on, but for now, it's time for us to leave LA.
Airlines flight number 2289 with service to Miami. My name is Carl McCaskill. I'm the first row.
In the event of an evacuation, escape pad lighting will appear. Follow the lights until you've reached your exit. Leave all carry-ons behind. Just head quick.
Test, prepare for takeoff, please.
Now that we're at cruising altitude, now is a good time to show you around the seat. There's a shoe storage cubby in front of the seat. A small pouch on the side of the seat is also available for storage. This button on the left side of the armrest controls the movement of the chair. It can be placed in a takeoff landing position, rest, and a desk mode. My favorite feature about this seat is the fact that it can turn into a full-size desk so you can do some work while you're flying. It was a little lopsided, but still a cool feature nonetheless. The IFE swings out from the side of the seat and is controlled by a touchscreen remote. American Airlines also provide these Bang and Olufsen headphones. These are easily some of the best noise cancelling headphones that I've used on a flight. I use them with my phone as well for playing music, and they absolutely sound amazing. On this domestic flight, they were the single jack variety and an adapter was provided. The touchscreen remote control features are fairly standard, but I was having some minor issues with it on the flight. It was working perfectly on the following. This domestic amenity kit is from Sinaloa, Detroit. The contents are fairly standard, but I do really like the look of the case. It also comes in navy blue. Menus are handed out prior to departure and features 3 different breakfast options, which is pretty good. I decided on the egg enchiladas, and seriously, this was the best breakfast I've ever had on a flight. Maybe that's because I've had so many omelets on Air Canada. Not only was it a nice change, it tasted amazing. If you want to change the seat in the bed mode, both armrests retract. The controls for the seat are on this remote, which can be removed from its stand. In bed mode, it's really wide and comfortable, but unfortunately no mattress topper was provided on this flight. After a 2-hour nap, a mid-flight snack was provided of a warm cookie and mixed nuts. As you might have noticed by now, there are some changes from the normal first class service, like the plastic cups, no mattress topper, and the meal being all served on one tray. Despite all that, I never really had an issue with it, but I have some good news at the end of the video. Wi-Fi is available, but I found it a little bit too pricey for the duration of this flight. I had presumed this is something that wasn't changed over, and it would normally be a lot cheaper for a transcon flight. 4 hours and 30 minutes later, we're on approach into Miami.
Choosing American Airlines.
Ladies and gentlemen, local time in Miami is 5 p.m.
After a nice 5-hour flight, it was time to visit one of two Admirals clubs here in Miami. This first one is across from Gate 30. Unfortunately, we didn't spend too much time here as it was very busy. Instead, we went to the other one on the other side of the terminal by D15.
Extension 4. Gates D40 to D60, extension 3. Gates D26 to D39. Llegando a la estación Gris.
This was much more quieter and less crowded. On top of the guacamole station, there is a full service bar, and there is a fairly standard spread of decent food available. There are shower rooms here, but they're all closed. There's also a second coffee station available. I never recorded it, but there's also a quiet area, a kids room, and a business center available. Also, what's always welcome is some great lounge views. Everything here is also available at the lounge at D30. The only difference is the space is a bit larger and it's shared with the Flagship First Lounge. After a nice visit, it was time to make our way over to the E-gates here at MIA. Boarding was on time, but unfortunately, due to catering, our flight was on the ground for an extra hour. Now would be a good time to show you what's different on this international flight. The same amazing headphones are available, also with a whole bunch of bedding and some PJs from Casper. First class menus are handed out along with a wine menu. Both the dinner and breakfast service is available on this flight. The only difference on the headphones on this flight is that they're the 3-prong variety. Still on the ground, now would be a good time to show you the lavatory. It's extremely nice with the wood finishing around the side for storage. The basin of the sink is also very nice. What's also a great feature is this foldable seat, which comes in handy for getting changed, so you don't have to sit down on the toilet seat. After a solid hour past departure time, we pushed off the gate for London.
Of your nose and mouth. You must wear a face mask over your nose and mouth and make sure to secure it under your chin or neck during a flight. You may briefly
Promptly after takeoff, dinner service started with some mixed warm nuts and champagne. Shortly, dinner was served all on one tray. I chose the beef fillet. It tasted good, but not amazing. The Latin shaved beef appetizer was honestly a bit lacking in flavor. After dinner, it was time to get ready for bed with these PJs provided by Casper. These are really great. My only problem with PJs that airlines serve is that they're typically very itchy on the first use, but the hoodie pocket is also a nice touch. I also sleep pretty warm, so I opted for my own shorts instead. The cabin lights were turned down, and the bed was made up for me when I returned. This was easily the most comfortable bed I've ever had while flying. Casper makes some amazing bedding. Also, if you'd like to retract the bed while sleeping, there are 2 buttons on the side so you don't have to grab the remote. After a solid sleep, I woke up with about an hour to go to London. Promptly, breakfast was served right away. An omelette with sausage and potatoes was served with fruit and a croissant. Most breakfasts can be lacking on transatlantic flights, but this was definitely enough to get my day going. Soon enough, we were on approach to London. While on approach, I have some final thoughts on this great product. First, I didn't receive the new first class amenity kit on the flight because catering didn't deliver it. But instead, the in-charge flight attendant was nice enough to not only give me 1, but 4 regular amenity kits, which was pretty awesome. Speaking of flight attendants, on both flights, they were Miami-based crews and were genuinely some of the most friendliest flight attendants I've had on the flight in a very long time. They were very personable and down to earth, which I find that can be even lacking on the most top-rated airlines from the Middle East and Asia. Even though there were some obvious drawbacks like plastic cups, meals being served all on one tray, and no hot towels, it didn't bother me too much. I felt half of the experience of first class itself was the seat alone. Luckily, American has addressed this, and full first class and business class service is returning on November 10th. Regardless of that, I felt this was truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but I hope that this is not the case in the future. There were definitely hiccups here and there, but this was an amazing experience overall, and I hope in the future I get the privilege to fly on American's Flagship first again.
Take a few extra moments to check around your seating areas, seat back pockets, overhead bins, anywhere you place items.
This is a start to a trip I've been wanting to have for a very long time. So stay tuned for future videos coming out, and I'll see you in the next one.